everybody. Welcome to the Ask a Medium show. I am Reverend Ivy Rivera, psychic medium, coming to you from the Ivy League Psychic Academy in Amherst, New York, which is around the Buffalo area. If you guys are interested in attending classes or lectures here at the Academy and you're not in the area, you can Skype in to just about anything. So look it up at ivyleaguepsychicacademy.com. If you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can find more information at ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. We do have some upcoming classes here at the Academy that you guys might be interested in, including Meet Your Guides. It's a 2-hour class coming up next week where you get to meet each one of your guides individually through a series of exercises that I've designed that are very effective. Including your Akashic Record Guide, who holds your past life information. We also have a couple level 1 psychic mediumship development classes starting up. I believe one's in February, I think the other one's in March. I don't know, we have a ton of other stuff. Coffee with your angels, you get to meet your angels. We also have a tarot class starting up. Amy Liss is going to be teaching that. She's amazing. She teaches you the traditional method to understanding the cards as well as the intuitive method, which keeps you open to evolving so that you don't get stuck using a tool, okay, like a lot of people do. So here's what we're going to do today. I want to talk a little bit about the topic at hand, which is how to be more open to receiving communication from spirit on the other side without you heavily influencing them or putting your demands on them. We all have a bad habit of trying to get people to say what we want to hear them say, or to try to get them to do what we want them to do, and it is not always the most opportune time for them, or they're unwilling, and there's nothing you could do about that. Dealing with the dead is the exact same situation as dealing with the living. They are people. They have free will. Nobody likes to be pushed around or told what to say or how to be. So a lot of people start to take on this approach with their loved ones once they've crossed. And I'm assuming a lot of these people did it in life, but for whatever reasons, they seem to feel more liberty doing it once they've crossed over. And it's really quite rude and it does not work. So I'm going to teach you some more effective tools that you can use in communicating with the dead. And typically these things work for, angels, guides, pets, animals, things like that as well. But real quick, I want to let you guys know where you can send your questions. If you have a question for me to answer, psychic, mediumship, paranormal, lost objects, personal, whatever, you could text them on in at 716-602-1391 or
our viewers can log in directly to Usream. Just type in Ask a Medium. There is a social stream to the right of the video window. You just want to click on that, enter in your question there, and I will read it off to Ivy here. Or you can join our Facebook event page, which is just Ask a Medium Ustream, and you can go ahead and type your questions in there. And actually, you guys can do it all week long, and we'll round up all those questions on Sunday, get to as many as we can, and get you guys answered.
And if there are any questions that we don't get to on this show, I do a radio show on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern on Para-X Radio, and that's right before Down the Rabbit Hole. Okay, my show is also on Para-X called Ask a Medium, so the spillover questions from this I will try to get to on the radio show, should I miss them tonight. Okay, Kara, we're ready to go? All right, thank you so much. So, here's the first thing that I want to say. The most common mistake that I see people making with their loved ones on the other side is this. They are demanding, okay? You can't be demanding with them and trying to force them to tell you exactly what it is that you want to hear. You can't ask them to confess what maybe their password is, to their Facebook account once they're gone, where they hid the money. You can't demand that they be around exactly at the time when you want them to be, just because that's a lonely time for you. You really can't put yourself in a situation where you're not going to be okay emotionally, okay? Unless they give you what it is that you're demanding. When spirit starts to perceive you as being unstable in any way, they will pull back their energy. So that's another typical reason that we're having trouble connecting with them. A lot of people say, oh, but I've been mourning him for so long, and I just cry and I cry and I cry, and I don't understand why I can't feel him. I feel for you. I really, truly do. But the thing is this, if you're upset at just the thought of him, how much more upset will you be when he comes around to spend some time with you and you feel his energy, and then you are completely absorbed in his energy, and you're incapable of kind of continuing on with your life in a stable, okay manner. The other thing that I see people doing that I as a medium don't appreciate, neither do the dead, is that you sit and you talk with them and you come up with little code words. You come up with little phrases, you come up with scenarios, and then you put it on the medium during the reading to pull out that scenario, to pull out that nickname, to pull out that phrase, that term, that image that you believe you have an agreement with your loved one on the other side to prove to you that they're there. They don't appreciate that. Neither do I. Neither does any medium. Because I can't control them. So I can't force them to tell me that part. I can ask them, and oftentimes they will tell me what it is. But there are some times when they don't. And if that's what's happening, you need to still listen to whatever message it is that they have for you. And you need to be open and grateful for that. Maybe there's something they found more important to say than that. Maybe they're trying to help you to be able to communicate better with them. And them giving you that crutch, that code word, that object is actually doing damage to your communication. There are a million reasons why they may choose not to say whatever it is that you're demanding of them to say. None of that is for me to figure out. My job is just to tell whatever they say to me. But I know that it works that way. The other most common situation that I'm looking at is when people are going into paranormal investigations, or if they feel that they have something in their house that they're keeping an eye on, and the activity may actually dull down when there's a group of people in there. Imagine that. So all of a sudden, a very active household can get very, very still and very quiet. And what people will do is they'll push, they'll prod, they'll provoke. You're going to end up with some problems. And quite frankly, I don't blame spirit. If you did that to a person on the street, you better believe they're going to have a reaction. You're provoking a reaction, you may very well get a reaction. What you may also get is complete and total silence, and it may shut down your entire evening. So I don't recommend provoking. What you should do instead is talk to them. Talk to them about things that you think maybe they'd be interested in. Give them an opportunity, and here's what I tell my students at every class we have. Be patient. Use your manners. Be kind. So the more polite you are, the more willing you are to sit there and allow them to communicate the best that they can, the better off you're going to be. Because spirit will just pack up and leave, and they don't care. Okay? Which you're the only one really caring in there with all your equipment and stuff like this. So we want it, or you paid your money to have your reading. It is not on your end to be bossy. Okay? You want to work with them and be patient. You can ask them questions, especially if you have some history on the house or who might be actually haunting the house. Perhaps you know what they're interested in. If you know that there's a little girl there and her favorite thing was doll houses and she had like 50 of them, talk to her about a dollhouse. Bring a dollhouse with you. Sit with a dollhouse instead of a whole bunch of equipment. Take your time to get to know them. You want to treat the deceased the same exact way that you would treat the living, and without respect, without patience. It is not going to be a clear, open, wide channel of communication, and no medium can fix that. No amount of equipment can fix that for you. Okay, so those are just a couple of the tips here that were given tonight. I am ready to start getting to the questions. Kara over here will be taking them from, what do we say, the event page?
The event page and the Usream feed, actually.
Okay. All right, perfect. Let me start with, let me get over here to these. Okay, first question that I have here is a Facebook question from a Kaylee. She says, discernment. Okay. Discernment. I know discernment and why they don't answer every question. Okay. So I guess Kaylee wants to know, she said choosing a reputable medium also. Okay, got it. Okay, I understand what you're saying. So, Kaylee, discernment, why they don't answer every question. Well, as far as discernment is concerned, and choosing a good quality medium, first things first, you want to choose somebody that you're comfortable with. You want to choose someone who is a real medium versus a psychic who can pretend to be a medium. The easiest way to distinguish between the two is watching for evidential mediumship. If you're sitting with a medium and they're able to talk to you about things that they never could have known from your body language, or that they really couldn't have even picked up psychically, then you know that you're dealing with a real medium. If you are able, and this doesn't always happen, but often it does, if you are able through that medium to ask certain questions of your loved ones, then actually have them answer, that's a great sign that you're having a wide open line of communication and that person is real. What psychics will sometimes do is pick up on a name of a loved one. They can even pick up on what they look like. They can pick up on some basic information, and then they will pretend that the loved one is there, and they will start to give messages that are not real. Okay, so watch for that. If you get the feeling that that's going on, pack up and get out of the chair. All right, you found yourself a psychic fraud. Okay. Why don't they answer every question? Because they don't have to. Because it's also not necessarily on their priority list. It annoys me too, I get it, but this is the thing. They live in a different world than we do, and they have other priorities than what we have. And I get a million clients who come in wanting to know about the flavor of the month in their love life, and really Spirit feels that it's really important to talk about maybe their career or something that's coming up with their health. And if that's what takes priority, then that's what takes priority. So also, I think we need to be mindful of the fact that Spirit does not have an endless supply of energy most of the time in which to communicate. It takes a lot of energy, and they have to learn the language. So if maybe they can't answer that question, or they only have enough energy to answer a couple, that is not at all uncommon. That's a great question. Thank you, Kaylee, for that. Okay, I want to move on to a Ditter Lynn. Okay, Ditter Lynn on Facebook says, I would love insight into my career situation. I'm applying for jobs like crazy, and I'm getting nothing but denied help. Okay. Okay, what I'm getting with this is a real sense of nervousness. But the thing is, I feel like I had it before I even really read the question. I feel like you are energetically blocking some prosperity here. I think that what you need to do is write down a list of like maybe 5 to 15 things that you want to attract to you in a job. And you're not asking, you're not praying, you're not hoping for, you are claiming this to you. And if you read this a couple times a day, and you stop your thoughts every time they get rackety and nervous like that, if you stop the energy right there, I think you're just going to have an automatic turnaround. I actually feel like things were prevented for a bigger purpose here for a while. It almost feels like there's like a week, a month, where there was supposed to be a delay, which is better for you in the long run, okay? But now that we're passing that, and you are moving into sort of the real deal on time frame here, you may want to do this to correct the energy imbalance that we're having so the problem doesn't continue. Okay, that's a great question. I have one here from a Daniel Klaus. I know that guy. What is the best advice you can give to someone that is trying to communicate with the other side, but not getting the responses they are looking for? It seems like a lot of folks try to provoke or piss the spirits off. Yes, they do, Daniel. And I pity the fool, because I saw just a couple weeks ago, even at the Buffalo terminal, student's boyfriend of mine had his back torn up, and we said to him, why am I looking at these hairy, torn up back pictures? Why are we all looking at this? What happened? Like, what went wrong? Everybody else had a lovely time. And he said that he didn't say it out loud, but in his head, he was provoking. He was saying, this is boring, this isn't good enough, this isn't meeting my expectations, and somebody came and tore up his back. And it looked almost like a foreclaw, like razor blades. It was pretty crazy stuff. So here's the thing, and this is a great question. You don't have to even be outwardly provoking in order to provoke. A lot of people just do it in their heads. No, you're not dealing with a traditional human being or an entity or whatever it is. You're dealing with something or someone who can hear your thoughts. It's called clairaudience. So you need to be respectful on an inward level as well as outward. Now, this is the thing. If you're not getting the responses that you feel you're deserving of, again, I'm going to revisit what I said earlier. You might want to find a topic that spirit wants to communicate about, something that they're interested in. And what I like to do is actually leave some open-ended questions. I'm not a pro with the technology. I'm a medium, so I normally just use that. But when I have played with the technology, I got the best responses at a paranormal investigation just by sitting with the equipment and asking them random questions like, what do you want to tell me? Is there a name that you want to give? I would just ask them things about, their life. What do they love? I would also ask questions like, and this can get a little heated, but you may want to say something like, are you okay? How did you pass? Are you still here? Do you need help? And they seem to really respond to that. That is a loving gesture of genuine communication. But yeah, I strongly disagree with provoking. Strongly. And it will come back to you. Bad juju. Don't do it. Okay, let's see if I can find another one. Thank you, Dan, for that question. I have from a Henry. Okay, he wants to know. Talk about, discernment. Oh, so again, discernment. Also, is it possible for plants, animals, weather to be communicating? Absolutely. This is something that's really traditionally overlooked. We are able to hear from plants, animals. We can predict, changes in patterns in the weather, the same as we predict changes in patterns in energy in a room. If you were in a room with 50 people and all of a sudden it's like this kind of hum comes over the whole place, right? Or things just kind of light up and the whole room just starts to get active again and you don't know why. It's the same exact thing. So that's really more reading of energy. Can you communicate with it? Absolutely. And should we be? Yes. We should always be owning our energy and trying to raise and elevate the vibration, okay? Ownership of your energy goes beyond just saying things, okay? It's a mindfulness. As far as discernment is concerned, Henry, that not all voices are helpful. I would agree that not all voices are helpful. Had to eliminate a couple myself. It's going to happen at one time or another that you're going to be hearing things that you really don't need to be hearing. Could be because you're in an atmosphere where there are some negative or lower energies. It could be your own head, so we don't want to overreact and think that everything is like, a demon or a bad spirit trying to communicate with us. Our own thoughts are usually downers enough, okay? That's just human nature. We're kind of pessimistic creatures. But yes, when you're hearing, thank you. So yeah, when you're hearing from spirits and you're not sure exactly where it's coming from, I'm going to put it this way. Here's how I train my students. We are only to channel, okay, those spirits that have crossed over into the light. Meaning, if you're giving a reading, you're trying to help someone, you're trying to bring in the highest and best good. Those are spirits that are in heaven or have crossed over into the light, okay? You can also have earthbounds, and then you can have darker negative energies. I don't have a problem with earthbounds, but I do not channel them for my readings. I will very minimally address them at a time like that, but I don't feel that it's appropriate because they could have other attachment issues. You could be dealing with a shape-shifting situation. You don't always know exactly what you're getting there. So discernment should really come into play when you're dealing with earthbounds or negative and lower energies. Spirits in the light are easy peasy. There's nothing more to that. Okay.
Ivy.
Yes.
We have some questions rolling in from Facebook and from Usream.
Okay.
So which one do you want to take first? Which one do you want to start with?
Let's do some Usream.
Usream. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to last week. We had a question come in right at the end, and it sounds kind of important. So I'm going to ask you to answer this one first. This comes from Delija, And their question is, hi, I'm looking at embryo adoption. Is this going to work for me?
Okay. I feel like it will. I am getting the impression that there are two. And I almost feel like one's lighter, one's darker. I feel like there's quite a lot of variation between these two. And I was originally going to say that I did not feel the first attempt working out the best, but I'm going to have to say that it feels that in the beginning there's a little bit of shakiness, but that does not equate to a failure. I think that it can work out really any time as you approach it, and I feel it working out pretty easily within 9 months to a year.
We got a couple more if you want.
Okay.
All right, our next one rolls in from Kova82.
Okay.
And their question is, I was wondering if you can tell me if you see me moving anytime soon.
I feel like, I want to say it this way. I feel like it's a possibility, but I don't feel like you're ready. I feel like there are a couple things holding you back, and I almost feel like there's a little bit of a need for a cleansing or a clearing out from where you're living now. I want to tell you to get some sage, and I want to tell you to elevate the energy and the vibration in that house. And it feels as though there's someone else there with you that is also sort of a little reluctant and energetically moving forward, that's also sort of dragging it down. A great topic next week would be, energy manipulation, because it is a real thing. I just think that for a while, you may want to put your mindset less on a sort of scattered way of wanting and hoping for something and waiting to see if it's going to pan out. And I would energetically be a little bit more powerful with your energy and talk to this other person. It feels like a very dominant energy, male energy, I believe, who you would be moving with, and try to get that all together. Okay. And then, it feels like after that, it also feels like there's something with the work that needs to be panned out with the money a little bit. And it's almost like I'm watching a bow be untied. And it's like as soon as that's sort of stuck, it's like as soon as that's done, it's like, and everything just kind of moves. So yeah, it looks good. Be patient, but do that, okay? Thank you. Should I go on to, okay, thank you. I'm going to go on to a Christy this was from the event page. So I'll actually take this one. I don't know how I ended up with it. But Ivy, I'm wondering about career changes, if I should, okay, or stay. And what should it be if I decided to change jobs? And also, if you know about my moving situation, what location and when will I move? I could say that could be like 6 questions in one. So let's see. Sure, Christy. Hold on a minute. Let me see what's going on. I can't even remember them all. I mean, honestly, I'm just going to go, whatever I'm getting, I'm just going to give you, okay? I feel like there is movement coming. I feel like 6 to 7 months, and I feel like a shift. I feel like things drop low. So I would say if you were, for example, like East Coast, I'd be going East Coast down. I'd be going south, south, south. So there's more of that. I almost want to say 4 states away or 4 towns away. It also feels to me like a developmental period of 7 to 8 months where you would be getting into a new line of work out there, and I'm feeling a little bit unsettled with it, but I'm supposed to say the little engine that could, it's almost like I think I can, and I want to say yes, you can. Don't get tripped up by the fact that you're in a new environment, you're in a new career, and there's going to be some panning out. The people also feel very different wherever you are. It seems as though it's in the same line of work that you've been doing, meaning that it's familiar to what you know, but it is definitely not within the same company, and you really thought that it was going to bring you a lot more openings. And what it's actually designed to do is to help you to see what you actually want to be doing. So from there, I feel a little bit of a career shift, and you getting a little bit more serious about possibly education or training, but a little bit of a move beyond that. But yeah, it feels very good. Can I have a tissue?
Of course.
I'm a mess.
That's all right.
A mess.
Beautiful. Well, while you do that,
thank you.
I'm actually going to read this question off that we had come in from Facebook. Before the show started, this one comes in from Juna. She says, is someone on the other side trying to tell me something? I don't want to ignore the message. Please and thank you.
Okay. I do feel like sometimes your object's moving or being hidden, and it seems like there's a. Is that your grandfather? I'm trying to see. I feel like I've got a gentleman who steps in here with a very paternal energy, who feels taller and thinner to me, and he's keeping an eye, I want to say, on what looks to me like your writing. So whether this is like bills, money, it feels like education, it feels like all of that. It's really more work oriented for you. So I feel him watching over that, and then I'm also watching over what feels to me like people that you would be caretaking over. And he's proud of you for helping them. But primarily, I feel like when he's watching, he's almost trying to manipulate some changes. And I want to use that word very carefully, okay? Because he's very, how do I want to say this? He's very subtle. He's very much the kind of guy who would be like, oh, you want that? Here's the book on how to do it yourself, okay? So he's not a huge, I'm going to come in and I'm going to, try to get this for you. It's more like subtle approaches in gearing you in the right direction. And what I'm really feeling with you is that you might be looking at more about relocation, the kind of atmosphere that you want to be residing in. And I want to say for you, too, who you want to have around you as a whole, the kind of community that you want to be living in. And he's just gently steering and guiding you that way. You do have a little bit of a cyclone energy that also comes through your house there, that feels to me like almost like a child energy, but I think that's more connected to the land. Trying to tell you something? I don't know. Trying to tell everybody anything is kind of how that one is. Okay, thank you for that question. We have another one?
Yep, we have another one from Elizabeth on the Facebook event page. And her question is, my dad passed away 5 years ago. I miss him horribly. Is he around, and how would I know?
Okay. Your dad passed away 5 years ago. You miss him horribly. How is he around? How would you know? Okay. Here's what I'm getting with your father. I feel like there were some problems in through here. I feel like there was some sort of radiating pain out through the back, and I also feel like something, I also feel like something going on in the head over this way with him. So I'm gonna say it this way. When your father comes through, you too are going to feel those same physical impressions if you are so open to them. You can't confuse it as being your own body. You have to understand that it is a physical impression coming from spirit based on something that he suffered through. He is not suffering anymore, but they will still carry that physical impression so that they can be identified when they try to come in. I'm also feeling like when he comes in to talk to you, a dropping of your stomach, almost like way down low, and I'm not sure why that happens. That's just you. That's just how you react. So you also need to pay attention for that, almost like a little bit of a sense of like heaviness or upset or like I just kind of fell. So I want you to watch. Those are not the most pleasant ways that he comes through, but that would be the easiest way to tell. The only other thing that I'm getting with him is he comes up behind me and he puts his hands here and he puts his hands here. Okay, so I'm not sure what he's trying to do exactly. I almost feel like he's holding my head up. But doing this can sometimes mean holding your chin up, or if you have any pain in through there, he may be putting on hands. When he does it, I start to sweat a lot. Now, not every spirit that comes in is going to make you sweat profusely, but many of them will. So this is the other thing with him. He's also quite telepathic, so he'll be visiting you in your dreams, and his mouth will not move. Okay, he loves you very, very much, and I feel like a happy birthday, okay, to whoever just had that. Yes.
You want to take a Usream question before you go to text, or
Yeah,
what would you rather do?
This is all covered up with a strange, yes.
Okay. All right, this one comes in on Usream on our live feed, and this is from B92808. And they say, does my son Justin have a message for me?
Okay. Does your son Justin have a message for you? I feel like somebody was smoking. I feel like quit. There's talk of the couch. And you're like all kind of sitting on the couch, and I feel like 5 peas in a pod, like cramming onto a couch. I feel like the TV, like if I'm in the couch and I feel like there's like a TV or something over here, I feel like his stuff is over here. That to the left of that way. So know that he sees his things, and I feel like you keep everything. I feel like you keep everything. And it's almost like this image of you dusting it off or trying to keep it nice. He just says, I'm hearing you, you're talking to me, I'm hearing you. I hear everything, but sometimes it's like a voice recording. If I'm not there, it's like you're leaving it for me. I can hear you. Okay. He's showing me being busy, meaning sometimes he's busy, and it's almost like he can hear you, and he's not there right then. And so he's just talking about almost like putting a pin in it, like I'm going to get to it, like I'm coming. And I'll address it when I get there. I also feel like the other male around you, and love to the male, and more happiness and joy to the male. The male seems to be sensitive and kind of depressed. He's talking about more uplifting there, and then I see like a crazy dog just like running around, not making any sense and eating everything. Hold on a minute here. Okay. And a trip, showing me a train moving forward, which can mean a trip. I actually think that this means move forward. Okay, make sure that you're moving forward. It is time. It's a little overdue time by 3. Okay, thank you so much for that. I'm having, oh, I see what I did. Okay. This person says, actually, I'm going to have to fix that. Kara, do you have any more there, or should I start going on to text?
You could go ahead and take some text real quick. I'm responding to a couple of viewers right now, so.
Okay. In your experience, if someone's guides appear to them as animals, what would be the best way to contact them?
Great question.
Yeah, that's a great question. There really isn't any other way, as far as I know of, to contact, a spirit guide. It's really not that complicated. I think we overcomplicate it by wanting to know, what form are they coming in? Are they an animal? Are they human? Were they ever human? Have they always been a guide? Are they male, female? Are they native? Are they something else? Was this ever a relative? Can I get a name? Can I get a name? Can I get a name? These things are not, just none of that. It's more like, and we have the Meet Your Guides class coming up this week. You guys can Skype into that. It's very simple. It's more like, now that you've acknowledged that this guide tends to come through as an animal, that's awesome. You want to add that to your base of knowing how to associate, their image and their energy, okay, with them. But it's not imperative that they always come through that way, and they may not. And you don't need to call on them that way necessarily. I would just keep it in mind as you're calling that guide in. Any ideas that you have about what their name might be, what animal they were, and tap into the energy of what that represents. Because say they came through as a fox, then you would want to tap into more of like what a fox represents, okay, and what that energy might mean. Sometimes though, I think that guides come through representing an animal that really doesn't have a ton to do with them, and they don't need you to call on them as that animal. It's actually representative of where you are in life. So it's more of a message for you. You would just want to stay open, and you would just call them in. An easy way to do it is by handing them a question about your life. So if you're calling in your work guide, you could be like, I need to know whether or not I'm going to get this promotion, and can you come in and answer that for me? And then you would sit quietly, and you will notice that you could feel their energy coming in from one part of the room. And whatever that energy is, that would be them, even if they've changed form. Thank you. That's a great question. I like that one. So I have a question here from, let's see, I'm not sure actually the number. Okay, from a Haley. I moved out of New York, but I have this burden weighing on my shoulders, and I simply can't continue to achieve my goals and do good things without asking a question and getting an answer from my past friend. Please help me. Okay, so we don't know who the past friend is. We didn't get it. Okay, okay. Let me just see who's here for you. Okay, you're gonna have to, this is part of what we're talking about today. You can't put that kind of pressure on them, okay? If you went up to another human being and you were like, I can't go on without you, they'd be like, whoa. Okay, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like this isn't how we do it. We are to be open to others for help when they can give it, but we have to learn to live independently. And your lesson in this right now, and the reason you may be feeling like she's not, around as much, that he's not around, is because you're not really openly moving forward in situations like this as much as you need to be. I do feel like you're 150% capable of going forward. I feel like, though, I as your psychic will give you this, okay? It seems to me that every time you have an opportunity come in, you let your wheels spin out of control in your head, and you have a way of being like, this is too much, I just don't know, or I don't know if this is the right thing. I feel like calm down. I feel like don't do that. Something positive, negative, indifferent is coming your way. Your job in life is going to be to sit calmly and analyze it. Don't get judgmental. Don't put a negative, positive, good, bad, black, white spin on it. Examine it first. Your first reaction is to get flustered. And that's actually creating a lot of blocks, not just in your communication with spirit on the other side and your friend, but also just in reading your own intuition and your own energy. Be confident in who you are. Be confident that you know what direction to go in. And you could do this on your own, but know that they are very much around. Okay? All right, thank you for that question. I have one from a Nick. My dad is getting surgery on Tuesday. Will everything go well during and after? Okay. Let me see what's going on, Nick. Oh, yeah. I feel fine. I feel good about it. I feel like it's overdue. I feel like it's time. I feel like it was put off. I feel like it was swept under the carpet for a little while, almost like it wasn't noticed, or we really could have dealt with it. I feel like I'm very protective over his lung. Listen, I can't prescribe or diagnose, but I am tempted to really just protect this area. I feel as though, I can't tell if he's tall or if he just has sort of a big energy. He's a bigger guy, but I feel like getting the breathing up could be a little bit tricky and fluid in the lungs. So we wanna just make sure he's not like, oh, I'm okay, I got it, I don't need to do my breathing exercises. I think they're going to give him a machine where you like take deep breaths in, and because I'm watching him pick it up and put it down very easily, so it's not attached to him, there's nothing wrong. But it's just something he's supposed to do, and I'm supposed to say don't skip out on that, and I also feel like take it home and use it. Okay, so deep breaths. But yeah, everything looks real good. Got another one here from a, hi Ivy, I'm one of Nick's friends. Well, we've just got the whole Nick crew like every week. I love you guys, you're so cute. These are the high schoolers from Orchard Park. My question is, why do I feel like there is something missing in my life? Okay, let me see what I get with that. And I'm not going to say your name because I don't know if you meant to leave your name on there or not, so you know who you are. Okay, well, I'm getting a couple different things with you. I'm feeling almost like you're moving, I feel like as you're moving forward, okay, you have some darker energy from the past, from things that weren't completely processed yet, and I think some of it may have to do with your age, that feels almost like there's a piece missing, okay? It almost feels like somebody went missing, and I'm gonna say that in time, okay, you being open and willing to discover why you have this feeling, you taking the time to do that for yourself is brilliant. And it will come to you, and you'll understand more of where that came from as you get older. The other thing that I'm feeling polar opposite from the past, I'm going way over here to this side, and I feel like the other thing that you're experiencing is that you're not completely, I almost want to say being yourself. And a lot of that has to do with figuring out what direction you want to go in and what you really want to be doing with your time. I think this is a good time for you to do a full assessment on what I would be doing with my free time. If you didn't have to go to school, if you didn't have to work a job, if you didn't have to do what your parents told you to do, what would you be doing with your time? Pretend you're a kid again and you're playing, okay? And then I want you to pretend that you're an adult and you're working at a job that you really, really love. Would it be doing something like this? Makes you wonder if this is more where you need to be spending your time. That will help you to feel fulfilled. And I'm going to say this is a great great question. And I'm going to say this to all the viewers. You know, when you get onto a spiritual journey and you start to develop your own abilities, okay? This is not a gift. This is part of our roots that we have abandoned as a society. When you start to develop this, all other answers come and all doors open. So this is where it all starts, okay? That was a great question. Thank you so much, honey. Yes.
We do have a question coming in on Usream from LM03. And the question was someone from the other side watching over my daughter this weekend? Oh.
I feel like absolutely, and I don't even feel like necessarily just one person. I have a human who feels like they were related to you, kind of watching over from the left, and then I have two others watching over from behind, and the one feels like a protector guide, the other one feels like a guardian angel. And so I want to say she has quite a team around her. I don't think this is the kind of person you're ever really going to have to worry much about. Okay, so yeah, just a ton of love and a ton of blessings. And where are we? I'm not sure what that means for me.
We're at 40 minutes right now.
So I have how much?
So if you want to go for an hour, we got 20 minutes left. If you want to,
we're at 40. Okay, yep. We'll do like one more question and then we'll wrap it up here. Okay. In your experience, if someone's okay, that was something else. Hold on. Oof. Here we go. All right, here are the texts. Maybe I'll take two, okay? I have from a 914. Hi, Ivy. I have been thinking about moving, but I'm not sure where I should be or if I should just stay put. Okay. Okay. I'm feeling like, no, you're not necessarily supposed to stay put, but there are more opportunities coming, so you could very well be influenced by that and feel as though you should stay put. I want to say that you could take advantage of these, almost like promotions, and then you could really go. When you feel like it's done, it's done. And I do get the sense that you feel as though your roots are kind of getting real thin, and that it is time to go. I just get a little bit of a sense that you would not be moving too far, and then I feel like another state entirely. So I really feel like two more moves with you, and I'm just supposed to say that love has a lot to do with this upcoming move, okay, and the influence there. So I feel like look toward a partner, but you don't base it on the partner, okay? That's the best way that I can really think to say that. Okay, thank you for that one. My name is Rachel. I was wondering if any one of my loved ones have any health issues I should be paying attention to. First thing that I'm getting here, and I can't legally, okay, prescribe diagnose, but the first thing that I'm getting is that I have somebody dealing with some stuff in the lungs, and I'm almost feeling like a radiating pain to the back, and I feel like a tendency to have almost like a shooting pain going down the arm, which could be connected to some heart stuff going on, clogged arteries, okay, to the lower and then on the right side. And it feels as though I'm really trying to sweep it under the carpet and act like it's not a very big deal. But I think that it does need to be addressed. I'm also seeing bouts of sweating, and I'm seeing that as an indicator that it needs to be looked at. The other thing that I'm seeing is a male around you who seems to be very much, I'm keeping my thoughts to myself. I'm really not complaining much, but there seems to be a lot of anxiety that could be turning into a little bit of almost like a mild depression. And I feel like that needs to be addressed. And I think the smartest thing for you to do is be mindful of these things. Maybe say, gee, I think, maybe like we should have that looked at, okay? Encourage someone to take them. But with this person who won't talk about the feelings, I feel as though your best solution is to almost corner them when they can't get away from you. Like if they're stuck at a family event or something and they're sitting there, just go sit at the table. Just sit there and just see what comes out and strike up some conversation. And as long as you're really doing it calmly and you're putting out the intentions to spark a conversation, I think you can kind of manipulate that energy to pull a little bit out of this person and make them comfortable. Conversation will come in time. You'll be able to help them out that way. Thank you so much for that. Okay, are we ready to wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. Listen, Anyone else who sent in a question, and there's quite a few, I'm going to do my best to get to them. On Tuesday's radio show, also called Ask a Medium, 7 o'clock, Parallax Radio, right before Down the Rabbit Hole, that's Eastern Time. And I just want to say, Kara, my dear producer, and I are taking this show on the road. So this will really probably be just about the last broadcasting here from the Ivy League Psychic Academy. We're going to be hitting all kinds of paranormal, historical, haunted locations, and just cool spots to be where we want to air the show. So if you guys have any suggestions or you want us to come and do the show from there, find me on Ivy Rivera on Facebook, or you can find more information for me at ivyriverapsychicmedium.com, and we'll come out to your location.
One thing I do just want to throw in real quick here, which is very nice, Delijah did respond on Usream and said, "Thank you so much for my response. It gives me so much hope." All right, that's a wrap.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling in, guys. Many blessings.